What's up, hockey fans? Obviously, if you see these two mugs here, that means it's another time for hockey matchup previews. Patrick Strong joined Rhett McGibbon, and thank you for joining us on our coffee break.
Why not?
As we're going to talk a little hockey, and Rhett, we're going to talk about Flames open up their ESCHL, try to get their title defense going by playing Delaware, and they were able to take 2 away from the Blue Hens on the road.
Yeah, on the road. Always tough to play there in Delaware. It's a team that, for some reason, ups their game when they're at home. And, a couple of games that were tight. There were squeakers, but they ended up sweeping that weekend series against the Blue Hens, and now they come back home sitting at a 2-0 record in ESCHL play.
Yeah, and talking about squeakers, we've kind of touched on it, how the Flames have a top offense, very historically known being in the top 10 for goals for, but this year not so much the case. Is that something we're probably going to see because more, I think, this team is built for, you could say, those tight, gritty games and more of a playoff-style type of team?
Yeah, I think so. I think this team is definitely built for more kind of a grinded-out cycle game, which doesn't necessarily lend itself to higher scoring titles, which I think will be good for them in playoff hockey. But I think, too, you'll see the scores start to go up eventually. Just, you've got so many weapons. You've got Gammer, Thompson, Ryan, we saw him with a hat trick at home. So these guys, as the lines have changed a little bit since last year, it's just chemistry building, and it takes some time to kind of know where, hey, does Thompson know exactly where Gammer's going to be on the ice at such a time, and that'll come with more playing throughout the season. And I think this is a team, by Christmas time in the second semester, you'll see those scores perhaps creep up to where they were last year. But like we were just saying, I don't think that's a necessity for this team to be successful. I like a team that can score and win in those close games, and if Liberty's able to do that throughout the year and kind of gains a lot of experience and that type of atmosphere, it's going to be huge for them.
Absolutely, and obviously hearing from Rhett McGibbon now on how the Flames did against Delaware, we're going to hear from the handyman himself, Coach Kirk Handy. He's going to tell us not only how his team did and what his thoughts were, but also about the matchup coming up this weekend against Syracuse.
It was great to get our first 2 conference games out of the way. ESCHL conference regular season championship's a big thing for us and something we want to keep as one of our goals this year. First 2 games, I would say, we got our feet wet in conference play. We didn't play, to our ability. I think that we still have an air level to take. Our discipline, I think, is a big thing for us. We want to make sure that we cut down the number of opportunities we're giving the air team to be on the power play. But, overall, there were a lot of great things. We got an air line of Roberts, Cox, and Hamilton going this weekend. I thought they're real effective for us, and that's a combo that we hadn't seen this year. Syracuse is going to be a great opponent for us. They just knocked off URI last weekend at URI twice. So, we know that they're going to be a strong opponent, as are most teams in the ESCHL this year. So, we're going to have to be ready to go and ready to execute when puck's dropped.
Rhett, you heard it yourself. Coach Handy was very excited about the new line with Hamilton, Cox, and Roberts. That's a line, obviously, that I think that can play a strong 2-way game for this Flames club. Yeah,
Cox is just a great 2-way centerman. He can put the puck in the back of the net. We talk about Roberts is one of the most underrated players, I think, in all the ACHA. He's great on the power play, great on PK. He can produce offensively if needed. And then Hammy's just a guy with so much speed, and you use him on the forecheck, and he's able to get down there and just disrupt things on the breakout. That's a line that really can create turnovers in the offensive zone and capitalize on them. And yeah, they have a Syracuse team coming in this weekend that's a solid team. They took it to Rhode Island twice, won both those games, so they're 2-0 on the year. And Rhode Island's not an easy dub. That's a team that plays a real structured game. Their head coach is, old school kind of guy, so they're in line. So for Syracuse to get 2 wins against Rhode Island, it says they're a pretty decent hockey team.
Absolutely. If you can win at URI, it's kind of saying something, especially for them opening their season. But yeah, talk about the matchup between the Flames and the Orangemen. I mean, obviously, last year when they came here, it was a bit of bad blood between the 2 teams. So touch on about that.
I think that's one thing Liberty's going to have to be really careful about this weekend, is not letting tempers flare, not letting emotions take over the flow of the game, and just stick to how you're playing, improving each and every game, and trying to get better and better. And I know this is coach speak, really, but it's going to win you the hockey games. And obviously, Syracuse is going to want to come in here. They're going to want to get you riled up. They're going to want to get under your skin because they know if they can get you in the penalty box, they're going to have success. And they also want to take the crowd out of it. So they're going to do everything they can just to get under the skin of the Flames, and hopefully, Liberty has a history of being a team that takes a lot of penalties, and you look at all the stats in the past, and it's true. They do. So if Syracuse can come in here and be on the power play more times than not, they've got an excellent opportunity to come in here and take 2 from the Flames.
Special teams will definitely be a factor in this week's game. Make sure to tune in at 7 o'clock on Friday and Saturday as you'll see these 2 mugs once again calling the game for you. And make sure to follow us on social media as you see the line coming across. Follow on one of those 3 items. For Rhett McGibbon, I'm Pat Strawn. Thanks for joining us.